Hey everybody, Jeff Oriema here. I've been thinking more about context graphs, and I think there's a pretty simple test for whether something deserves to be called one. Can it answer a question like this? Find all of my pull requests that are blocked by someone who's on vacation next week. Structurally, that's a simple and straightforward question. But to an agent, that prompt is not trivial because of how many sources of truth there are underneath it. My means the system has to know who I am. It needs a concept of identity. Pull requests means it has to know where that data lives and how a pull request is represented. Blocked by is a relationship. The pull request is connected to another person. Someone means that person. Could be me, could be someone else, and they have to exist as an entity outside GitHub because on vacation is a state that GitHub can't reliably answer. That data comes from an HR system or maybe a calendar. And next week means the system has to apply a time constraint to all of this. Now, none of those steps are individually that complicated. The difficulty is in the fact that they span several systems and still have to compose into one question. And that's why I don't think a context graph can just be a catalog of applications or a searchable index of documents. Knowing that GitHub, Jira, Slack, and Workday exist is not enough. The graph has to understand the things inside those systems and the relationships between them. It also needs to work at a fairly granular level, and inferring that won't scale. An agent usually isn't asking for everything we know about a pull request or everything we know about a person. It's selecting specific pieces of information and following specific relationships. Start with my pull requests, follow the relationship to the people blocking them, and ask whether those people are on vacation during a particular period. That is field level composition. To me, this means that the unavoidable requirement is a federated system. The person who appears as a reviewer in GitHub may be the same person who appears as an employee in Workday and as an attendee in Google Calendar. The context graph has to treat those as one entity without pretending all of the data comes from one system. The services remain distributed, but the entity is shared. I think this is where some definitions of context graph become a little vague. If the graph can tell an agent which systems might contain useful information, that's necessary, but not sufficient. We need the agent to actually traverse the relationships between those systems and formulate a precise request over them. So that's my current test. Find all of my pull requests that are blocked by someone who's on vacation next week. If something that calls itself a context graph can represent and answer that, then I understand what that thing is buying us. Moreover, if the graph can answer that, then it can probably express data access policy, specify which clients have privileges to read or write that information, and expose the capability to revoke credentials. If it can't, I think we may still be talking about a catalog. I have some ideas about how I'd model this. Interestingly, a lot of the requirements look similar to problems the GraphQL Federation community has been working on for years. Distributed entities, field-level ownership, composition, identity, query planning. But that's probably another video. Have you seen any context graph implementations? Am I missing anything? Drop a comment. Let me know. And if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe for new videos every weekday. That's it for now. See you next time.